Hi folks, thank you so much for joining me today here at All About Candles. My name is Greg, I'm your self-proclaimed Canadian candle connoisseur, and I have a review for you today that is a little bit out of the box. I tried a new candle company. This is Palo Santo by Treo Candles. So I was in Marshall's a month or two ago. And of course, when I walk into a store like Marshall's, the first thing that I do is go to the candle section. At this Marshall's, they have a really big candle selection, and you find everything there from like Yankee Candle to Martha Stewart's candles I've seen in there before. And there's always hundreds of like sand and fog candles that you need to like. I feel like now when I see sand and fog candles on a shelf, I have this ability to like almost not even see them. Like, I don't need those weak ass candles. Anyways, I saw these guys. I actually ended up getting 3 of these sort of Treo candles. This one was the Palo Santo. I also got Palo Santo and Rose. And I also got Santal and Vanilla. I really loved the way that all of these smelled on cold. And so I'm standing there and I'm like, ooh, should I like get all 3? Like, I like the way they all smell, they're cute. And so I actually like brought up the company's website on my phone when I was like standing there in the candle aisle, and I snooped around a little bit just to make sure that they were like legit or whatever. Apparently they're this company that was started by a brother and sister who live in California, and their mission was to offer a high-end candle experience at an attainable price point. And these were all on clearance for $10. That's a pretty affordable price point for me. So I did it. I went ham and I got all 3 of them. I think that my favorite one I haven't burned yet. This, look at that beautiful pink wax. This Palo Santo and Rose. I think this is my favorite one, so I've been saving it for last. But the candle at hand here is this Palo Santo. So as far as fragrance goes, I went onto their website a second time because there are no scent notes on these candles. So I went onto their website to look them up, and it gives you top, middle, and base notes. So the top notes were rose petals, which is interesting, right? And then the middle notes were leather, sandalwood, cedarwood, and tonka bean. And then the base notes were amber, clove, and musk. Now, I thought that was a little bit strange that there was no sort of Palo Santo scent note in here, right? And that's because after really getting my nose into it and burning it for a while, it's like a conceptual Palo Santo. Like all of these scent notes are sort of adding up to give you sort of an impressionistic Palo Santo, but it's not a literal Palo Santo. So if you have ever smelled like the Bath and Body Works Palo Santo, it is very not that. That candle is very woodsy, earthy, a little bit dry. And this one is a little bit more of a juicier Palo Santo. The rose petals, I definitely get. There's sort of an odd sweetness at the top that absolutely smells like rose. And then in the middle notes, it was leather, sandalwood, cedarwood, and tonka bean. I'd say I get a lot more sandalwood out of it than anything else because there's definitely sort of a dark creaminess to it, and I really like it. Cedarwood, I'm not getting. Tonka, there is probably some tonka bean in there because it's a very smooth fragrance, much more smoother than like the Palo Santo from Bath and Body Works. And then the base notes, amber, clove, and musk. Definitely a little bit of amber in there. Clove, I don't know about. I'm not getting a sort of any sort of a spicy type of note in there. Not a clove note, but the amber and the musk I can get. And I really, really, really like the way this one smells. And I like the way that it smelled when it was burning too. And you absolutely have a full top to bottom fragrance experience, right? Like the rose hits you first, and then there's a woodsy, a smooth wood, a smooth creamy wood, and then the very last you get a musky, dark sort of amber. And so I am a little bit confused why they decided to call this candle Palo Santo. I would absolutely not pick it up blind and smell it and say that it was Palo Santo. I would have probably said it was like a rose sandalwood amber candle. But regardless of all that, I really liked it. So I picked it up. And moving on to performance, it did pretty well until the end. I'd say that the first half of it burned really nicely, and then brace yourselves. That's what it ended up looking like. Let me see if I can get the light in there a little bit more. Look at how dark and discolored that wax became. I did burn it pretty much all the way down to the wick nickels. I could see the wick nickels, but I couldn't burn it any further to let it extinguish itself because of this situation. So the first half of the candle was a good burn, and the last half of the candle was a terrible burn. I would light it, and within about an hour, it would be sooting, like black smoke coming off of it. And so I would blow it out, trim the wicks to tiny little nubbins for the next time, burn it again the next time. After half hour, 45 minutes, black smoke, soot, not good. And so it was actually a really warm day when I was almost finishing this one off. It was around St. Patrick's Day. We had a bit of a melt here in Calgary, and then it snowed again. But anyways, so it was a nice day, and this candle was sooting so much. I was like, girl, if you need to go off, I'm putting you outside. I burn candles outside on my balcony quite a bit. I was like, I can't have this sooty ass candle in my living room anymore. I'm banishing it outdoors. And so I put it outside and kind of just let it go off. And after a little while, it was sooting black smoke so badly that I thought to myself, oh my, like, there's gonna be a hole in the ozone. If the government sees this, they're gonna up my carbon tax. I blew it out. It was just too black and too weird and too sooty and very aggressive. And it always smelled good. Strength and throw was like a 7.5 on this candle. So, you know, for a first time try for a brand I knew really nothing about, a 7.5 is a strong candle for a brand that's not like Bath and Body Works or like an Old Homeworks or a Yankee. Not a bad strength and projection on this one, but the soot just made it intolerable, and it was actually kind of shocking. And so I was like, ooh, I still have 2 more of these candles to burn. By the way, the Santal and Vanilla was also extremely sooty. And this candle didn't perform very well. It didn't smell that strong. And as you can see at this point, that's when I stopped lighting it traditionally and I put it under a candle lamp so I could just get the fragrance out of it and enjoy it that way. But it didn't project that well under the heat lamp either. And so the first one I tried from this little trio of Treos was not successful at all. This one was more successful, except for the fact that if you left it burning more than half an hour, 45 minutes, you were going to have black walls and ceilings at your place because it was so grossly sooty. And so I snooped around on their website again just to look at the other offerings, what they say, what they do. And, you know, so they're saying that they're like this California company started by these two siblings, and wanting to offer a luxury candle experience at a reasonable price point. And so $10 on clearance, that's a reasonable price point. But on their website, they're $45. I don't know about you guys, but to me, a $45 candle is definitely getting in, for 18 ounces of paraffin wax. A $45 candle is definitely getting into like luxury pricing territory. I would never pay $45 for this, and I wouldn't pay $10 for it again. I hate to say. I can't recommend this at all unless you want your walls to be covered in soot. The fragrance is really nice. So if you're a person that only crocks or lamps your candles, I would recommend this because you're definitely gonna smell it. It's unique. It's not like any of the other Palo Santo candles that you've burned before, and I can't even really put my finger on something to accurately compare it to because it's definitely unique and strong, but the way that it burned was just unacceptable. Do you see how there's a little American flag in the corner bottom there? I took that to mean that this candle was made in America, probably in California, where the two founding siblings are so proud to be from. But then if you turn the candle and you look at it this way, it says, made in Vietnam. I'm not sure that it's gonna focus, but trust me, it says made in Vietnam. And we all know that for many brands of candles, the made in Vietnam is the kiss of death. And it was. It's really unfortunate because you come up with a beautiful fragrance and then make a candle that's like almost impossible to properly burn. And I'm afraid this is just not a luxury candle experience, for many reasons. One of them being that the finishing, this sort of matte finishing on the jar, is very fragile and it picks up fingerprints, any kind of marks. As you can see, one that I have here is scuffed. It wasn't scuffed in the store. It's scuffed just from me bringing it home and like putting it on a shelf. By the way, I really hope Palo Santo and Rose burns better. I'll keep you guys posted because this one is beautiful and I love this gorgeous pink wax. The wicks on all of these candles were pretty thin, ropey type of wicks, and I think the wick is the problem. I think that like if they really want to be offering a luxury candle experience for $45, they need to go back to the drawing table on the wicks, and they need to go back to the drawing table on the presentation, because they looked all right when they were in the store, but after getting them home and being with them for a while, they really attract fingerprints and look kind of greasy on the outside now, and there's scuff marks all over them. So, two California siblings starting a luxury brand candle company at affordable price points are just getting these made in Vietnam. And honestly, I always wonder this. I'm sure you guys do too. I always wonder, like, during the candle production process, does nobody ever like take one of these home and actually try to burn it? Because I'm getting pretty sick of candle companies that are a good candle to burn until the halfway point, and it just seems like we're getting that with everybody right now. And I'm not here for it. I'm just not. I'm really not. Look at this. My carbon tax is going up. Oh, Treo. So yeah, my trio of Treo candles. I like to give new candle companies a try, especially when they look like they're like a smaller business or they're a company with good intentions. I like to give new candles a try, but it does feel like these days, 9 times out of 10, you're getting duds. And I think that's why Bath and Body Works is doing so well with their candles right now, is because as many problems as there are with Bath and Body Works, at least they're consistent. It's very rare that you get a candle that you literally cannot burn past the halfway point. But I'm giving these new candle companies a try right now and picking up candles that you can't burn past the halfway point. Like, $45. That was American pricing, by the way. I got this for $10 Canadian on clearance. Maybe that should have been a bit of a sign right there. But they're selling these in America for $45 American. That's like 60 bucks Canadian. Absolutely not. For that kind of price, you can actually buy really nice luxury candles from like Nest and Voluspa. And so I'll be doing that instead. But I still like to experience a new candle company once in a while and see what they're about. Researched and developed, it says. Well, how much research are you doing if you're not even trying to burn the candle yourself to see if it can be burned? Such a shame, because it's a beautiful fragrance. Bittersweet story. Another bittersweet story here at All About Candles. Yeah, go pick up a Palo Santo from Bath and Body Works. Because this candle doesn't smell like Palo Santo and was kind of scary to burn. That's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you could hit me up with a like, comment, or subscribe, it would mean the world to me. I'll see you next time here at All About Candles. Thanks so much, guys. Bye-bye.